we're gonna go to some waiver ads because I think this is a week where you want to be sprinkling fab around because I think this is probably the best waiver week we've had.
Yeah, this is probably the best waiver week we've had for running backs I would say for running backs for sure. Um, Wide
Yeah,
receivers too. There's some options out there.
I agree. What about the first guy? Obviously, with Penny getting hurt, man, Kenny Walker, 59% owned in sleeper leagues. How much fab are you throwing on this man?
Um, Knowing that Penny is out the whole week, the rest of the year, Kenneth Walker might be taking like 30% of my fab.
I was gonna
30,
say
30 to
60.
35. It's still the Seahawks. I mean, and we still, it's still, we're going into week 6. There's still quite a bit to go. Kenneth Walker also already had an injury issue to start the year. Not
Yeah,
related, what was it, a hernia that he
it
had?
was a sports hernia, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So, it's still the Seahawks. He had his stat line for this week. Let me actually pull this up right now that we're talking about him.
I'm
He
pretty sure
had
he
a
had
pretty
a
big run. He had a pretty big run. So he's 8 for 88 and a touchdown. He has 11. Oh no, this is yards per carry. Yeah, so that's his. He had a 69-yard breakaway. So you take that off. He had 7 for 29, which is still pretty good ratio. I think that's a little bit over 4. So you know, he's the clear RB1 waiver claim for me.
I think he's a clear claim in general. He should be at least our running back, receiver. It doesn't matter. I think you're throwing. I think you should be throwing the house at fab on this man, especially if you were missing an RB2 because I think he finished. Penny has been running back 26 in PPR, and he has only had 5 targets the whole year. This man had 6 targets in 2 games. So they already used him in the passing game a little bit more, and I just think he is. Going into the draft, I thought he was the best running back in terms of a talent perspective. I think it was him and Brees Hall 1 and 2, like very clearly. It was both of them
Mm,
like around the same tier, but Kenneth Walker I thought was just a little bit better. So I'm very high on Kenneth Walker. And like we stated, this offense has looked better than what we expected because of Geno Smith. So if you believe that's going to continue, that should be how much fab you're going to throw onto it. But I do agree. If you're comfortable at running back, you should not be throwing. You should still be putting a claim, but definitely not more
yeah,
than like
I don't know about 60. If you
25%.
have, yeah, if you're desperate, you definitely, I mean,
Throw some money on him if you're desperate because I think it will
40 to
pay dividends.
45, maybe even 50%. I think 60. We're still very early on in the season, especially when you start getting to the back end of the year where there's some injuries start piling up and you might need to make more waiver claims, especially if you want to get ready for playoffs and you need to get itch out a couple wins.
Be quick.
Um,
What is his playoff schedule? Just to be
for the
curious.
Seahawks,
So
so
San
we
Fran,
don't
Kansas
do,
City, and the Jets.
yeah, so San
Eh,
Fran's tough, but Chiefs and Jets, that's not bad. Jets should be a good matchup for him, and then with the Chiefs, even if they're down, you have
saw
receiving
what
work
Jacobs
there.
did today.
Yeah, that too. And then
Yes, so
Jonathan Taylor, even though he was inefficient against them, had a decent day as well.
Lenny Fournette as well.
And Fournette, yeah.
Rashad White. So still upside against the Chiefs just because of the passing work as well. I think the next talking about passing work. I think the next running back I kind of want to talk about is Neil Benjamin. He there was an injury to James Conner. I believe he hurt his ribs,
It's a rib injury, yeah.
and Williams also got banged up a little bit. And I just think Eno looks nice, man. I think he looks like their scat back. And I believe if they give him enough touches, he will produce. Are you sprinkling any fab, or are you just waiting and seeing with him?
Yeah, so he looked really good on that touchdown run he had. Connor, we know he has a little bit whenever he gets nicked up, those things to linger, you know. So I would definitely be investing in him. Um, Definitely not as high as Kenneth Walker, but maybe something around 15 to 25, just because it is a handcuff. He did have value even with Connor there. Going back to last year, we saw that Connor and Chase Edmonds both had value. And if Connor misses any time and he has an opportunity to cement a bigger role in this offense, it's something you definitely want to, to get a piece of. He's only 16% roster, so he's widely
think
available.
think if Connor misses time, he's a must start this week against Seattle.
Yeah, that too. I mean, I don't know how serious the rib injury is, but he's definitely. I would
Supposedly
definitely be
wasn't too
starting him.
serious. But yeah, it's some just somebody to monitor. Definitely, I think you should sprinkle a little bit of fab, especially if you have Connor, because I think he is a nice little handcuff to have. And like we were stating, when D Hop comes back, the offense should be better. They've been playing some decent defenses. Rams and Carolina and Philly are pretty decent defenses. So you never know what you're gonna get. I think the surprise of the week though is Tevin Coleman.
Yeah,
Talk about surprise, 0% rostered. Are you throwing fab on him? Because I'll be honest, I am not.
yeah. So when it comes to Tevin Coleman, he's this man. It's just a system he was familiar with, So they just added running back depth. I wouldn't really be investing in Tevin Coleman. This could have just been another North Carolina game. He had 4 touchdowns against them last year, so
Yeah. Flash
yeah,
in the pan or whatever. He took it back a little bit, but I agree. I don't think he's doing
yeah.
anything.
There isn't nothing to look for here.
What about Jalen Warren?
Jalen Warren. So there was some stats coming out about Jalen Warren. It looks
More
like he's been more
effective.
efficient than Najee.
Najee.
I still think Najee is the go-to guy there. Obviously, I don't think he's in. You have anything to worry about. But if Najee does go down for whatever reason, he is somebody. He is
As,
worth the stash, in my opinion.
Especially if you have Najee, I
Yeah, if
think
you're
he
the
should be a
Najee owner, you should.
requirement.
Yeah, you should definitely be putting in a claim for this man if you're the Najee owner.
I would say throw in about 5%, 10%. 10% if you're not, 10% if you are the Najee owner,
Yeah,
maybe a little more.
yeah, 5 to 10 if you're not, and then if you are, 15 to
15.
20. I think he's a valuable handcuff.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree. Talking about valuable handcuffs, Joshua Kelly, man. 4% owned. Had 12 opportunities this past week. Obviously, Eckler had himself a game. Found the end zone. Kelly did. I think the biggest takeaway was no Sony Michelle this game. I think they're clearly that they're sticking with Kelly and obviously Eckler. I think again, if you're an Eckler owner, this man should not be 4% rostered anymore. I'm so sorry to tell you. Obviously, he looks better than he did last year, and he just looks good, guys.
Yeah, he's
Like
got another year of experience under his belt. This
offense,
off,
great
yeah,
offense.
he's on a great offense. He's gonna have a chance to score, and yeah, and if Eckler misses any time, this is another
This is the
one.
guy.
This is a very valuable handcuff, especially in this offense.
Some of these I think like a player like Kelly, you might be able to get for free with like a $1 bid, like nothing too crazy.
Yeah, he's not something that I would be running to the waiver wire to make a claim for. This is more like a just in case situation. It's like if you have a roster spot, you know, if you have
Yeah.
one of our drop candidates, what we'll get to later on, maybe you could stash this man.
Really quick, I just want to get your idea. This person isn't even on the list. You don't got to bring him up. How do you feel about Gus Edwards? Because he is finally activated off the PUP list, and he was practicing last week.
What's the deal with Justice Hall?
With Hill, he has
Or Justice Hall?
a hamstring injury, but they don't really know. They're kind of doing it week by week. He's been somebody who's been injury prone, and I mean we've seen J.K. and Gus be the main leaders of this backfield before.
Yeah.
But I definitely think in a deeper league, you should sprinkle just a little bit. Make sure you get Gus. I have him in my 12-team league because I just need to see if he's worth the stash. I've held on to him for this long, and he used to be our goal line back. So
Yeah.
no, but don't go crazy. It's just something to monitor. I think this kind of affects JK's value a little bit more than improves Gus's, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think it'd just be more with Gus if you wait and see type of thing because they Kenyon Drake is still involved there, and you can tell they
Sadly.
really want Dobbins to be the guy. So,
I just need us to get rid of Mike Davis. Send him a retirement home, man. I'm tired of watching this man. He is so slow. Anyways, I got to get off that. I hate that man so bad. I hate the way he plays. I don't hate him as a person. I'm pretty sure he's a great guy.
pretty sure he's a
He is
nice
old.
guy.
Yeah, we're sure he's a nice guy. Nothing against the guy. Jacoby Myers, I think this is the must-add receiver. Obviously, he's 63% owned, so
Might not
you
be
know,
as available.
might not be as available. But bear in mind, guys, like this is receiver one over there. He's played 3 games, has a combined 27 targets in 3 games. That's 9 targets a game. Just like this is the guy there. Like I think it's that simple. Like this is somebody you want. This is your safest play at out of New England in terms of receivers. Somebody you should be very comfortable starting at receiver 3, receiver 2, flex. You know that area. Upside. I mean, he scored a touchdown this week. You know he wasn't doing that a lot before, but I think this is somebody you should be throwing a nice little bit of fab on if you are lacking consistency at that position.
Yeah, I think there's value here. I personally was fading all wide receivers in New England, but it seems like he's producing. He's got value there. He's consistent. He's just their guy, you know. And you've had the weeks where he was out, Devontae Parker played well. So it looks like, you know, whoever their wide receiver one is, they're gonna go to him.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think, are you spending more than like 15-20% on him?
Yeah. I could see myself if you really need, if you're in like 3 wide receiver leagues,
You need one.
yeah, and you're needing to find a wide receiver 3/flex, definitely put maybe even 25. If he stays healthy and keeps producing at this level, this is wide receiver 2 with wide receiver 1 upside. You know, you're getting almost
He's
20 points if he's getting this type of production.
points every week. That's 21s, 18 the other, around 18, 19 points every week. I think this is exactly what you want out of your receiver, even out of your receiver 1, to be honest. You kind of want 18 points a week. And I'll talk about, this is my guy. I said it last week, guys. I remember vividly saying Alec Pierce before it's too late. I don't know if it's too late because he's still only 20% rostered, but it's definitely too late to get him for as cheap as I was getting him.
Yeah, he's definitely on people's radar now, and you've been saying it for 2 weeks now. This has been your sleeper right here.
Man, like I said, man, I love this fucking play. I love the way he just plays. He's just so damn good. I don't know if you saw the contested catch he had where he literally bailed out Matt Ryan, like one-handed, just crazy catch. You see that snap percentage rising. Rising. And Paris Campbell does nothing on the field every time he's on it. So the competition, he's just cementing himself. You always want, every year in fantasy, I try to get rookie wide receivers who shown promise. 2 games, 15 targets in the last 2 games. I did the math because I'm a math person. The last 2 games, he's only played a combined total of 52% of the snaps. That's got to go up. 15 targets, he's caught 12 of them. You're looking at 160 yards. Like, this man is due 70% target share. He might have a bad week every now and then, but shit, people are higher on Jahan Dotson than they are on him, and Jahan Dotson has never had 9 targets.
Yeah.
Because this man hasn't scored a touchdown doesn't mean shit, man. Drop some fab on him, 10, 15%. He's a clear wide receiver, too. He's a clear second option in the passing game behind Michael Pittman. Even last game, he was basically 1B. My Alec Pierce, man. You know how I feel about Alec Pierce.
He's definitely worth the stash. He's shown flashes of the talent. And they're just they need to figure out. They're trying to figure out that offense and it seems like they found their wide receiver too.
Throw the ball a shit ton because they're down. That's what you want, bro. Like you want receivers and offenses that are throwing 40 times a game. So that's definitely my guy. The guy that we just saw play today, MVS. Talk to me. How do you feel about MVS? I drafted him in this league and I ended up dropping him.
So I myself don't. I'm not buying MVS. I just think it's Kelsey every time, and then whoever the wide receiver that steps up for that game is. You know, it could be Sky, it could be Juju. It just
For Juju.
depends. Yeah. I'm not too crazy about MVS. I think he had a pretty like bad drop in this game. Not a bad drop, but just a one that he should have caught. You know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I nothing to be excited
Yeah.
about with MVS. You know.
Definitely, he's not a horrible player. He's his percentage, his snap percentage has been pretty good. Targets have been pretty good. He's just too boomer bust
Mm-hmm.
for you to fully trust in your lineup. Now, if there's an injury to one of these receivers, maybe by receivers I basically mean Kelsey. If Kelsey gets hurt, then you
Yeah.
take a look at him. But like realistically, if like Juju gets hurt or Miko Hardman, they're just going to throw in Watson or Sky Moore there, and he's going to give you the same. Like this is what he's going to give you around 4 for
Yeah.
40 something. Nothing too crazy. I definitely would not spend fab on him. If I have him, I'm not going to drop him though.
Yeah.
Especially after,
He's a deep league stash or a deep stash. You
yeah,
know, he's not. It's not like he has no value. Obviously, he's getting you points. It's just clearly he's in single digits. He's been in single digits every week except for
every
this week.
week. I fully agree. Going on to the next guy, I'll let you introduce him because this was a guy you wanted to talk about, man. I don't know. Maybe you have a nice little
Who Rondell?
Ron. I was thinking of DPJ.
Oh yeah. So Donovan. Yeah. The man is producing, man. He's on the field. He's on the field first of all, and
Free snap, just about.
yeah, and they're looking at him. You know, if it's not Amari Cooper, he's the next read. It is not a high passing volume team. But they know who their guys are. You know, so he's on the field. Anytime you're on the field is when you make plays, and he's getting the targets, man. Look at he's got a game with 11 targets, one game 9 targets and 7 targets. You
Seven.
know,
Yeah. I
so
think the biggest concern with him is his touchdown upside. I think it's very, very capped. I think in the red zone they're clearly looking at Cooper, Joku, or if they're not running the ball. Obviously, option one is run.
mhm.
But definitely worth a stash. He's like a top percentile athlete at the combine. Was always billed as a raw draft prospect. His combine projectables were actually very close to Odell Beckham. So like
Yeah,
his chart was very close. So somebody who's athletic, league stash. I wouldn't throw too much fab, if any. Like I, maybe sprinkle in like 5%,
a
maybe
little
like
bit
two
here and there.
percent.
It's just someone to monitor if you're looking at wide receivers again. Like obviously we're talking about wide receiver,
We
waivers
always
here.
one
So
step ahead. That's the whole reason. That's why I was on Alec Pierce last week. Like you want to be ahead of the trend because you don't want to. Like you want to. Like now,
you
Alec
want to
Pierce
get these
has
guys for
value.
cheap. You want to get these guys for
Exactly.
cheap.
Exactly. And I think talking about getting guys for cheap, we might be a little late on Rondale Moore. Had himself a game. They love chucking this man the ball. And I think Greg Dortch is officially done for in that team,
Yeah.
unless there's injuries. But Rondale, 8 targets, 91% of the snaps, looks explosive. 7 for 68 isn't like, oh, he can't even get 10 yards a catch. I mean, half the time they're throwing this man the ball like -4 yards, and
Yeah.
he has to run 10 yards and he gets 6.
Mm-hmm.
He's out there just juke 3 yards, juke 2 yards, juke go back one. Like this man's out here dancing on the sideline because Kingsbury kind of sucks. The one time they threw this man the ball downfield, he caught like a 7 yard curl. That's
Yeah.
downfield, by the way. Like a 7 yard curl, and he turned it up for like 30 yards. And you're like, all right, why the fuck aren't they doing that more often? I definitely think this is somebody you look into. I think he's got a solidified role on this team. Even with DeAndre Hopkins back, I think he's going to be somebody you can hold on to if in case of injury, but like a deeper league play, I think he's going to be seeing around 7 targets even with D Hop back. He's going to catch them all because you're behind the line of scrimmage. So at PPR floor, pretty decent for somebody that is only 38% rostered.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally, I think like you said, it's the last week that we're gonna get anything. Dortch, if you have Dortch, you can move on from him. Rondell Moore is he's the one. He's the reason why Dortch had any kind of value is because he wasn't out there. He's back out here. He already has he's gonna be a flex play every week pretty much just because of the PPR floor that he has. And again, like we've mentioned it multiple times that this offense should, as a whole, take a step forward once D Hop gets back. So definitely something to look at if you're looking at any wide receiver
Something to
flyers or
monitor. I wouldn't go
stashes.
crazy though in Fab
Yeah.
personally.
If you're not that needy, I would just maybe see if you can get them for free, see if waivers go through. But I think that is something that you can look at. People, everyone is waiting for this Cardinals offense to take off. They're just not doing it.
Have to be due at some point though. They have too
Yeah.
many names. We're gonna glance over Taysom Hill because we kind of talked about him. That tight end, Taysom Hill, 24% rostered. Obviously, if he goes to quarterback, I think his value is basically none. If they change that position back to quarterback or something, I think his value is none. But at tight end, spot start, I wouldn't go crazy with the Fab here either. I just don't know what I'm gonna get.
Yeah, he's one of
Personally.
these players that you really don't know. This is kind of like if you're looking for an upside play,
Upside, yeah.
a tight end. Because even in our league, if we start him a tight end premium, the tight end premium only applies to catches. And this man, they don't really
Exactly.
have passing, they have passing plays where he's throwing the ball, but not for him to be receiving. So
I do think if you're tight end needy, I think you'd take a look at him. Maybe throw like 10% of your fab down, but like don't do no 30, 40%. This guy is not winning you your league. At least
yeah,
my opinion as of now. Hasn't shown
he can win you a
anything
week,
outside of those.
but you don't even know when
Absolutely.
that week will be. You don't know when that week will be.
Might be the championship week and I look like a dumbass and he won the league, literally.
Maybe
But it is what
maybe
it
he
is.
literally wins people leagues.
Yeah. And
Let's
the
see.
other guy I want to talk about, guy the Ravens drafted, let go, traded actually. Got some decent return. It's Hayden Hurst, man. The man with the flowing red hair. Got a thing for gingers, man. Obviously, a rep out for the boys. Just looked solid against us. Are you spending fab on him? He's been pretty
Yes.
consistent with his targets.
Yes, this man. I would definitely, if I'm looking for a tight end, I'm rostering. He should be rostered. I don't know how. In this tight end landscape, he's only 39% rostered. When you have, Dalton Schultz giving you 0 points. Fearmouth
Like a sticky
still,
being rostered.
Fearmouth is still rostered on a lot. He's probably still more like higher. Let me see. Actually, now I'm
He
curious.
is, because I have him in one league.
I don't even know if I'm
Prime
spelling
move.
it. Yeah, wait, there you
Right
go.
there.
Because he has it spelled wrong. See,
88%.
88% rostered, man. Like,
And it's the gap isn't that wide between
yeah.
50. It's not a 49% roster difference.
And
It
this
should
is
not
something
be.
you were investing draft capital on. This man should be rostered, especially in this landscape. He's been good. They look for him. He has the talent. He was a first round
We took
draft
him.
pick.
We took him 7 picks before Lamar.
So yeah, man. He's and they said, hey, I mean, treat him as a low end tight end one. He should be rostered, man. I would definitely be
Yeah.
spending if I'm in need of a tight end. Like if I'm one of these guys with these Kyle Pitts owners, I am definitely throwing maybe even 20% of my fab on him, 20-25, because tight end is just it's scarce out there, man. It's really scarce.
I like him. I definitely do like. You're spending more fab on him than you are Taysom?
Yes, just because I feel like you have a more reliable start at the position.
Okay. I agree actually. So I mean, that's actually shocking. I did not think we were going to agree on that. But yeah, I do agree. I think he's more safe. Targets are pretty consistent. If T Higgins or any of those receivers miss time, my whole thing with Tyler Boyd, I traded him in one of my leagues. Is even when the receivers miss time, you don't know if it's going to be a Tyler Boyd week. He'll have like
Yeah.
3 good weeks, and like after putting up duds for so long, you're like, I don't want to start this guy. And then all of a sudden, he has a good week. T Higgins went down. Tyler Boyd did nothing. Who stepped up was
Yeah.
Hayden Hurst, and this is the second time that this happens this year. So definitely somebody to monitor. See I mean, he got saved by a
97%.
touchdown week 1. He's just so inconsistent. And just a last guy. This isn't somebody you should be spending fab on, guys. I fully am aware. Somebody I want to throw out there because, like Alec Pierce, you can get him for free. 94% of the snaps, he's a rookie, and 7 targets, 6 catches, 43 yards. The yards aren't there. It's not great. 7 targets, 94% of the snaps here. Tom Brady's your quarterback. You're going to be throwing the ball a lot. He played because Cameron Brate didn't, but somebody who they invested draft capital in, a 4th round pick, somebody to monitor, especially if you have a spot on your tight end that you can kind of hold off on. Maybe if you're feeling real confident, you got an Andrews, you got a Kelsey, and you don't like anything else on the waiver wire, you can hold on to this guy. Maybe he grows in value because I don't know. I just think he's an athletic tight end, and I'll take a chance on him.
We know
Nothing
Brady
crazy.
likes his tight ends, so if he becomes a favorite, he is a rookie, so there is that breakout potential, and he could just become a target for him. I like the idea. I myself you already said it. I wouldn't really be investing any fab on him, but definitely something to look into.
Just monitor. Just like one more last person. He's not on this list, but he just came to mind because he's another rookie tight end. Greg Dulcich, ULC. Dulcich from the Broncos. Greg Dulcich, the tight end. He's a rookie tight end. He's been on IR. He hasn't played. I believe he was one of the first tight ends taken in the draft, and he's just very, very athletic. Very, very athletic tight end. Albert Alquanabagam, I butchered the fuck out of that name, but he has not been good. Neither has anybody on that tight end room. I think Greg Dulcich, just take a flyer on him if you want. A hefty 21% snap rate is not exactly what you want. Like, there's no tight end taking this spot. And the other tight end dropped a touchdown pass, which was a dot from Russell Wilson. So, yeah, I think that does it for the waiver wire. Obviously, this is a super, super deep somebody to consider, especially if your tight ends are shit and like you're in like a 14-team league. I want to take a flyer on rookies with upside and opportunity, and that guy has it because there's nobody else on that team outside for Sutton and maybe Judy who you feel comfortable with. So it's his job to lose. 5 candidates. We're gonna smoke through this because these are quick yes or no's. Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson, I still have a hard time letting him go, but you can let him go and lay that trap out there for your league and let them deal with that. I still have a hard time, man, because look at what we're talking about when we're talking about waivers. I mean, Allen Robinson, I would drop him for Jacoby Myers, but I think every other player here, I would have a hard time dropping him for.
Dropping him for Alec Pierce in a heartbeat.
I know you are because that's your guy, but still,
I'm sorry. I'm done. This hype train. Whoever's still on board on this train, solid. I'm looking at you. You should be disappointed. This man is not it, bro. I saw a stat. Travis Kelce caught double as many touchdowns today Allen Robinson has in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I
think if I'm good at wide receiver, I'm dropping him. I'm leaving him in the waivers just for somebody else to catch that grenade because it's really bad.
He's going to blow up on your bench, and then what are you going to do? You're going to want to start him the next week, and he's going to go back up to like 1 catch for 7 yards. No. I don't trust him. If Sean McVay has not figured out a way to get this man the ball yet,
after saying he wants to evolve him more. Yeah, it's just tough.
Yeah, I literally said it last week. This is the last chance you get because they literally came out and said, we're going to involve this guy more. And they tried, and he did nothing. I'd rather have Ben Skowronek, whatever his name is, than Allen Robinson. My point has been made. Get him off the fucking roster. Tyler Conklin, Zach Wilson went there. To me, he's gone.
Yeah.
Off any team since what's his name got there, Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing for him there. So we're in agreement there. A yes and a yes. Sir.
Tyler Conklin.
I'll let you talk about the next person because this was what do you felt about Mr. Schultz?
So yeah, I mean Dak is around the corner here, man. So I'm stashing him personally. I'm not starting him until you see the production, until you see him healthy. But with Dak around the corner and Schultz showing us what he has, I definitely think he should be rostered. I know he's gotten dropped. I'm in 4 leagues and he's been dropped in 3 of them. People
Come
are
up,
picking him up and dropping him, picking him up and dropping him because they don't, you know, it's tough at tight end.
guys. Pick him up just for this reason only. If Dalton Schultz practices the whole week in full capacity, even if he's had bad weeks, you start him. That's my opinion. Don't wait till he goes off. If he just practices in full, he's better than some of these tight ends we're playing. Start him because you know what his upside is.
That's fair. Yeah.
If he's limited and misses a practice and then he's limited the next one and it's kind of confusing, stay away. Understand. But if he's practicing the whole week, come into your fucking lineup. Dalton Schultz going to get you a fucking 7 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown, and you're going to be like, oh, he's on a bench or he's on waiver, and you're going to be feeling dumb because Dak loves this man. Got to talk about Chase Deadmans. That's his new nickname because he's fucking dead this year. He's RIP, Mr. Chase. Not literally. Obviously, we never wish that, but fantasy values died.
Yeah.
Are you dropping him?
Yeah. I'm
Oh
trying
my-
to shop him or I'm dropping him, man, because he does not look like they even want to give him the ball. He's gone from the lead back, from the design plays, from like the zone blocking schemes, to pretty much what is it that we saw? He had 3 opportunities this week in a game that they needed to run the ball and be more efficient and maybe do little dump off passes that he's efficient in. Like, it just seems like Mostert has taken a handle off that out of that backfield, and
I do think you
Chase,
should trade for him if you have Mostert just to secure a backfield.
That if you're the Mostert
He's probably
owner,
super cheap.
yeah, I would definitely if I didn't have Mostert, if I still need running backs, I'm maybe stashing him, but there's literally no value there. You're gonna want having him on your roster. You're gonna be tempted to start this man because of all the hype that that we had going into the season.
So really quick, obviously you're dropping him for Kenneth Walker. Are you dropping him for Eno Benjamin?
I think I am with the injury concerns for Connor. Yeah.
Okay. You're dropping him for Jalen Warren if you're not a Najee owner.
No.
You're dropping him for Warren if you are a Najee owner.
Yes.
Okay. I kind of had to separate that because
because you need to secure that.
I think I'm
backfield.
dropping him too for Josh Kelly if I'm an Eckler owner.
No, I wouldn't. I think Kelly, he has a role there, but it's very touchdown dependent.
Okay, I understand. I think I'm dropping him for Kelly just because I want RB1 in that offense over RB1 in the Dolphins offense, even if I'll take my chances. But with that being said, like, he's pretty bad this year, guys. I apologize if you drafted him. I was never on him. I didn't get him in any league personally that I was a fan of. I got overruled in the Megala Bowl league with Solid and Swift. They took Mins. It's like, I mean, I guess there's a tear drop off. I don't really like him. And the guy you brought up, Mr. Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore, I brought him up last week, man. It's another week where this is, one of these receivers you drafted where you're expecting a safe floor. Chase Edmonds. I'm sorry, Garrett Wilson, and it just ever since Zach Wilson came back, all their receiving options have taken a step back. And it looks like Garrett Wilson is still the leading receiver, even though they're not producing. So I think I myself might be moving on from Elijah Moore. There just doesn't seem to be any value there.
If you have a decent receiving core and you can afford a roster spot just on straight upside, you try to trade for him. But I think he is somebody that will probably drop for just about, aside from Donovan Peoples-Jones and MVS, I'd probably drop him for Rondale Moore too, just because I've seen his role. I think that all about does it, man. Have anything to add as we look over here at his 4 targets for 1 catch and 11 yards? Triple breadsticks.
And then Robinson. Just because these guys are the wide receiver 2 on their prospective teams with similar snap percentages. And look at the production. Very similar. and we're shipping off Allen Robinson, but we're saying different about Elijah Moore.
The reason I'm saying different is because he's 22. Hold on to youth. Hold on to youth until it is clear that it is not going to work.
That's a fair point.
But I do agree. Like you said, they're very similar. I think one's receiver 64 and Robinson is receiver 70 something. I thought 75. At that point, they're both
75 and 64.
64. So, but yeah, still, I'd rather roster him than Robinson. I think his upside's about the same. I just think Allen Robinson's done for, guys. That's my opinion. I think he's pretty chalked. Get him out of here. Sammy Watkins 3.0. No longer needs to be here. He's basically Josh Gordon. Every time he signs somewhere, I gotta roster him. No, you don't. I think that's about it. If you have anything to add, you're welcome to, my goods.
Just want to add the big Dubskis. The big Fournette Dubskis here, baby.
Scored the most points. Moving on to the league.
RB1 on the week.
Got better. Your record now is going to be what, 4-1.
Yeah, I should still have the second place.
Points
here.
score might be higher than me.
I might have overtaken that this year. I should have. Yeah, definitely overtook you.
Yeah, your team went absolutely nuclear this week. I can't believe I'm 3-2, dude. I thought my team was better than that, but whatever. 3-2, looking good. I like my team. You like yours. Playing Kakuin Supreme, sorry, just change your name. Terry Herbert this week. We'll look into that next episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know this was a long one. I feel like we had a lot of very good information. See how this goes. But per usual, guys. Stay saucy, my friend.